All right, week 2 update, take 3. I was doing this outside, but it's raining really hard right now, so I decided to come in and redo this. We have water barrels. We don't have them hooked up. We don't have the water pump yet. I think that's coming tomorrow, or we'll get it tomorrow. So that. We have a storage shed. It's not put together. We just got it, and it's raining. We got some stakes and surveyor tape. So a couple of things. As you've seen in the other videos, there's nobody around us. However, this is all private property out here. And we are able to go online and look up the owners, just like we did here.
What?
Do you need me?
No.
Okay, good. So all of the owners of everything are pretty much out of state or out of the area. You can tell they're like investors that bought land sometime in the past and decided to hold on to it, hoping a developer, wants it or something like that. In any case, the roads are sketchy enough that most people don't want to. Even the people in the area that I've spoken to, they're like, "You live where? You live way out there." We did find out we have, so we know our nearest neighbor is a mile in one direction. The other one might be a little bit closer, but they're over the hill. They're over a hill and kind of not really by us. And we've taken some drives back on some of these roads and found a couple of trailers just tucked away in places. Either they're just left there for camping. Some people do buy up property out here and use it just to come out and camp or whatever. So, so that's what we have. In any case, we want to make sure everything we're doing is on our property. The right answer is to get an actual survey done, which we will do. That's just kind of expensive, so we're waiting. But basically what we have is the county map has, everything drawn out from when this area was divvied up, subdivided back in the 60s. And, the roads are set to be 60 foot, even though they're just tire width right now. So measure 30 feet from the center up and then all that. So we did everything. One thing I used first is I played with a few different apps. And the one that seemed to work the best was called Hunt Stand. Hunt Stand. I was able to sit right here on the couch and measure out everything and basically make a box for my property. And I've walked around and it shows me right where I should be, so the GPS is really accurate on it. You can also, and you can make your lines, you can say it's a fence and it'll be purple, or, it's a road and it's red. You can do all kinds of stuff like that. You can set markers and set them as like feed piles or gates or whatever. You can also trace your steps, so you can set it to trace and it'll just kind of follow you and show you where you went, which is pretty cool. But we used it to measure, and then we got a 300-foot measuring tape so we could do actual measurements. And I'll tell you, it was spot on, absolutely spot on within inches. So not bad for a phone app at all. I highly recommend that. I am not paid. There's no endorsements. Never spoken to anyone. I haven't even reviewed them on the Play Store yet, so or the App Store or whatever it is. So I probably will give them a good review, though. I don't do that very often, but I think for this one I will. It's definitely worked out. Also, we did some exploring, both in vehicle and on foot. And while on foot, we found a abandoned vehicle in a creek bed, like a little over half a mile from us. If you went straight across, of course, we didn't go straight at all. We probably walked 2+ miles to get to that thing. But that's kind of cool. You can find all kinds of cool shit in the desert. Once the rain lets up, sometime next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's supposed to get a lot better. Today's Friday, so we're there. I'll show you. We did some exploring and found a bunch of old cans, an old lawnmower from the 50s. It's an old Craftsman mower. I looked it up, so it's we're gonna use all that stuff for yard decoration, and I think it'll be pretty cool. So we're coming along. Solar power is not here yet. It's ordered. The solar kit, which is the panels and the inverter and the charge controller, like all that stuff, actually is ready for us to pick up, but the batteries aren't, so what's the point? We'll just pick that up next week, all at once. The water pump, I think we're getting tomorrow. So sometime after this weekend, we'll take some time and get the water set up and the power set up and the storage shed set up so we can get rid of the clutter. Right now, we literally just have a walking path, and it sucks. I'm not going to lie. So that's kind of our biggest thing right now with off-grid homesteading is some of the suck that you have to go through. We knew it would happen. We knew there's always going to be something, right? But for right now, that's the main thing, is just the lack of space. Just kind of things piled up everywhere. And then the weather went to crap and it started raining quite a bit. So even more stuff had to come inside, stuff that we were leaving outside. But we'll be set up. I mean, it's a couple weeks, whatever. And we'll do it. Let's see, a couple other changes. One, interesting fun fact. I've been a fast food junkie my entire life. I will eat fast food and or pizza, like, that's it. Like, yeah. I went about 2 weeks and a couple of days with zero fast food. And I noticed my tummy gurgling all the time. I was actually eating, not that I only ate fast food before, but I started thinking about it. I'm like, I think it's the fact that I'm actually eating healthier food. Everything was home cooked. We didn't even eat out at all until like yesterday, or maybe it was the day before. But it's just kind of a weird thing. Like, hey, I'm eating a lot of like rice and beans and some veggies and just things I wouldn't normally I would eat, but like once a day instead of 3 times a day, basically. So that's kind of weird. I also quit smoking like a couple months ago. And my motivation for that was I didn't want to litter up the desert with cigarette butts. Of all the things that could have motivated me over the last several decades, I started smoking when I was like 12 or 13, somewhere in there. So I do chew, so I didn't give up nicotine. I just gave up cigarettes, and one step at a time. Okay, but I don't have any cigarette butts on my property, which is awesome. Because it's pristine out here, and I don't want to litter it up at all. So it's kind of our week in review. It's hailed. It's rained. We haven't gotten any more snow. But today, my wife and we got stuck in a hailstorm. Really bad one. While we were out setting markers on the property. Another shout out for another company. Carhartt makes these. See how the water beat it up? This is still from when I came in, and it just like flicks off. So this is their Rain Guard hoodies. We went and got these yesterday because we're like, it's raining and we're either getting wet or we're burning up because it's really not that cold during the day. It's just, it's in the 50s and 40s. So the cold wind and rain, but it's really not cold. This thing is warm, but I am completely dry underneath this. And I was in the midst of that hailstorm as well. I just threw my hood up. It was fine. My wife did the same thing. Our pants got soaked. We got pelted. She's got little bruises all over her legs. I'm pretty sure I do too. I haven't really checked yet. My hands were just like getting nailed. It was flying in sideways. It was rough, but we kind of finished up what we were doing in that area and came trying to run back to the trailer. We couldn't see hardly at all. And as soon as we got like within 10 feet of the trailer, it just stopped. So yeah, that's the way it is here. It'll rain. We're like, okay, let's kind of go in. And then it stops raining. We're like, okay, now we can go back outside. As far as animals go, antelope, we've got their tracks, fresh tracks actually running through the property and kind of off to the edge, all up in the hills. We've kind of followed the tracks all over, several hundred yards in each direction. They're out here. Fresh scat. Found more coyote dens off the property, off in one direction. We hear them at night howling. We've heard them yapping out there. But we still haven't seen one, and we still haven't seen any evidence like near where we're at. So prairie dogs or whistle pigs, whatever you call them, wherever you're from, we've seen a couple up here. There's a whole bunch down, like when you get closer to town. You get closer down towards the main roads where there's actually some people living. I've actually seen a bunch down there. I've only seen a couple up here, but I haven't been able to find one to shoot yet. But when I do, we're gonna make us a meal out of it, and you can look forward to that. Upcoming videos, I'm going to do one, probably just a short one, but I want to highlight some of the cool stuff we find in the desert, what little bit we've gotten already. But that was something I was actually excited about here, is like we can just like scavenge through the desert and find things and pick up old tires and crap and build out of it. We're going to do that, but I do want to show this dump site that we found that's seriously like right across from our property. I mean, even the old hinges and stuff, and you can tell it's been there for decades. But the lawnmower we found, I checked through all kinds of antique sites and stuff, and it is a 1950s model lawnmower. So we had beer cans that are the actual, had to use the can opener and some of the pull tab tops and stuff down there. So that pile's been there a long time. So we'll do that and some shooting gun stuff. I know that's kind of what this channel used to be, and I've gotten away from it. I now shoot every day, so I'm definitely not like out of guns, but just nothing really new to do videos on. But there's a couple things I've never done videos on, stuff like that. And now that we're kind of out here and can do some shooting and stuff, you may see a little bit more of that. I definitely want to look at some, once we get like the water set up, the solar power challenges we run into, things like that, would be good. And, I think that's about it as far as right now what we know we're going to do. So some things to look forward to, should be fun. And really, this is for a diary for us, kind of, to look back on, but also everybody's experience is different. And I see a lot of homesteading channels that I watch that I really love that are in the Midwest, they're in the South, they're up north, they're in very green, lush areas typically. We're in the desert, and it's a whole unique thing. It's completely different. We do not have the option of getting water anywhere on our property. If we were to get a well, if they can do it, which the well company, we actually did talk to them, and they say that they're pretty sure that that capability would exist on this property, just from what they know about this area. It's 200 to 300 feet down. It's going to be a minimum of 20 grand just to get the well dug. So that's not a thing. The amount of what it costs us to get water and just bring it up here, it would take us almost 10 years. It would take us 10 years to see a savings in getting that well done. So I think we're just going to haul water in. It's honestly the better option for us. I don't know what my family's doing. Oh, they're trying to get the dog to dry off so he can come in. Everybody like, subscribe. Hope you enjoy these videos, and we'll talk to you next time.